Hi, and welcome back to DressArt3D.com. Today, I'm walking you through the single design choice that made the Ashen Matriarch click. She isn't a floating spirit, she's manifesting. That distinction changes everything: how you sculpt the silhouette, how you place the base, and how you paint the transition from residue to anatomy. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to build that manifestation gradient so your model reads as a sovereign condensing into reality, not just hovering.
Let me start with what I consider the core of my design, a short lore snippet of the matriarch herself, so you will understand better the choice behind my design. Most tyrants crave the roar of the flame or the scream of the sword, but Elanora Vesper, she understood a far more terrifying truth. Kingdoms do not fall in battle. They fall in silence. They fall when the grain stores empty, when treaties rot, and when patience simply decays. Elanora was the master of stagnation. She didn't conquer cities, she suffocated them. She watched rival monarchs age prematurely under the weight of slow ruin, expanding her borders without ever raising a banner. But while her empire grew, her legacy withered. Childless and desperate, she consulted all the knowledge known to Earth in vain. She then tried to negotiate with God, offering gold and cathedrals, but refusing the one thing required: repentance. On an Ash Wednesday, as the priest spoke the words "dust to dust," Elanora realized that no treasury could purchase an escape from time. Instead of kneeling, she hardened. If she was destined to be dust, then dust would become her kingdom. She watched her empire hollow out from within, choosing pride even as death collected her.
Now, she is the Ashen Matriarch. She isn't a demon of fire or shadow, she is a demon of consequence. She manifests from what we discard: soot, particulate residue, and the microscopic debris of decay. She continuously erodes even as she forms, trapped in a cycle of remembering the exact second her mortal pride doomed her.
Finality, a lingering warning. She doesn't need to break into our world. She's already here, in the ventilation shafts, the server racks, and the soot of our history. She is the whisper of delay, the comfort of compromise. She is the patient truth that evil doesn't need to be loud, it only needs to wait for you to tire.
A floating model often reads like no weight, no origin, no story, a ghost or ethereal. The Ashen Matriarch should read like the ash is gathering, the body is forming, and only part of her is fully here. A transition, manifestation happening from ethereal to solid. Here's the quick checklist I use. One area must be solid and believable, one area must be in transition, and the base must be a narrative anchor, not a simple decorative element. This is the most important design element. She has legs. Not a smoke that replaces legs. Legs that prove she can be real, but are still forming, manifesting. Lock in one fully formed anchor. The left leg must read as stable and independent. Give it clean anatomy and a confident stance, so the viewer believes she can carry weight, at least partially. Design the second leg as in progress. The right leg should be partially formed, like ash condensing into bone and muscle, especially where it is nearest to the base. Keep edges softer, break the surface into particulate texture, and let it dissolve as it approaches the plume.
Build the gradient from the solid base upward. Think in 3 bands. Base equals solid anchor with debris but smoke and ash rising up. Mid-rise equals forming limb and tail, forming from smoke. Upper connection, solid anatomy. This is the 3-step gradient that sells the idea that she's manifesting and forming herself from residue.
Make the base tell the story. The ash cloud should originate from rubble, skulls, debris, and rise upward. The key visual is that the particles are behaving wrong. They're not settling, they're gathering. Keep a tether to the plume. Even if the miniature is suspended, ensure there's a clear visual logic. The forming leg and trailing ash currents to the tail and back are the mechanism that sustains her in midair as she manifests. That partially formed right leg and tail do 3 jobs at once. They shows instability, she's not fully anchored. They reinforces her infiltration theme, she emerges from ash and particulate. And they creates motion, she's in the process of becoming. The asymmetry also implies something important for her character derived from the lore. Part of her always remains dispersed, totally solidifying to instantly start slowly decaying again. Once the lower body tells the story of manifestation, the upper body has one job: communicate sovereignty and stagnation. The ribbed, emaciated torso and shivered thin arms reads as Regal Decay, not rage. The elongated skull reads as Aristocratic Predator, not a snarling beast. And the swept-back horns create a crown silhouette, which together with a more feminine designed body instantly signals queen, even at tabletop distance. Finally, those flowing tendrils aren't random spikes. They should feel like ash currents that are solidifying, reinforcing the idea that she's built from residue.
So that's the secret. An anchoring base of debris. One leg anchors in reality, while one leg and the tail still in transformation at mid-miniature. And finally, a solid body, showing the character of the miniature, further anchoring it in reality. Your miniature stops looking like a ghost and starts looking like an event. If you try this approach, take any model that floats and redesign the lower body into a manifestation gradient. You'll instantly get more story, more believability, and a stronger silhouette. This passage highlights how the Ashen Matriarch embodies both tragedy and power, urging painters and collectors to seek deeper stories in their miniatures. I hope her haunting presence inspire mindfulness, whether extinguishing fires or keeping rooms clear of dust. If she comes to your mind, I will have reached my goal of sculpting my miniature in your memory, while reminding us all that the most impactful creations blend myth and reality to leave a lasting impression in our minds.